You cannot tell. First of all, I know I can beat up Rolly. He knows that. He knows that. And it's not a thing of, like I'm not, if we just comparing skill, just because somebody is stronger don't mean that they can win in no fight. That's not how it works. This is my thing, and this is why I'm so happy that, so I want you to know something. I've been sparring against boys and men for 20 years. That's 2 decades of boxing. I didn't say I'm gonna go in there and knock Rolly out. I didn't say I can overpower him. I said I can outbox him. I've outboxed plenty of men who are professional boxers inside the ring.
I don't know about you, but 20 million, that seems like a lot of cheddar.
Oh man, I don't hit women. I just don't hit women. It's not even about the money. 20 million, 30 million, 100 million, bro. I wouldn't sell myself to go hit a woman.
Claressa Shields didn't just respond to Rolando Romero. She turned the interview into a masterclass in confidence with a touch of controlled chaos.
I will say is, with my boxing pedigree, with my height, my jab, my skills, I can beat Rolly in a boxing match. And that's just what it is.
Oh, you think you can beat Rolly actually in a fight?
A boxing match, absolutely. You were talking about sparring, sure, but even under the rules of, you want to say 2 minutes, 12 rounds, 2 minutes, 10 rounds, whatever you want to call it. Bruh, I had better boxing skills than Rolly.
What size gloves?
What size gloves? Do you not see this face? I don't even get hit. Does it matter?
No,
what are we talking about? What are we talking about? I fought French John and got 1 stitch, and it wasn't from her punch, it was from her thing on her glove. She kept pressing against my face.
Because the moment Rolando Romero said, "I don't hit women," Claressa Shields fired back instantly. "Cool, but I'm not asking you to. I'm asking if you can keep up."
People get it kind of, they always say, oh, you know, a woman can't beat a man. I spar with men. And I mean, I drop men, I bust men nose, I beat men up all the time. That they may be stronger than me, but their boxing abilities isn't like mine. Triple G, he's older now, but I can give Triple G a run for his money. I give him a run for his money.
And that's where everything shifted. Claressa Shields wasn't talking about power or knockouts. She was talking about skill, timing, and pure boxing IQ. She made it clear she's been sharpening those abilities against men for over 2 decades. That's not a phase, that's a lifestyle. When she says she's outboxed professional male fighters in sparring, she's not joking. She's speaking with the confidence of someone who's been doing this long before many fighters even developed their jab.
I don't know why she always targets me.
I mean, I know you're not the first, because a couple of years back, I know her and Keith Thurman had words flying back and forth.
Yeah, I never understood that one either. But it's still, at the end of it, I don't care. Me and her will never be in the ring. I do not hit women. She's great, but there's male and females, and it's divided for a reason.
And the funniest part is Claressa Shields says she does it respectfully, like she's handing out lessons with manners, piecing guys up while their families watch like it's a live demonstration. Meanwhile, Rolando Romero stands firm, saying he wouldn't do it for any amount of money. And honestly, you can't even fault that, his not ducking skill, his drawing a moral line.
I'm bigger than him. Bigger guys, bigger boxers are generally going to win against smaller guys. I'm just your thoughts when you saw that clip. What did you think when you saw that?
I believe her. I believe she can beat me. Yeah, she'll knock me out.
I think you're being facetious.
No, I'm being for real. I don't hit women.
That's true. I understand that. No, I'm just. Did you shake your head, or did you say why? Out of all the names, did you pull your name out of the hat?
No. I believe her. I truly believe she can beat me.
But Claressa Shields isn't buying any of that. She's basically saying, stop trying to protect me from a fight I'm volunteering for. And that's what makes this whole moment so spicy. It's not your typical trash talk. It's 2 completely different energies colliding. On one side, you've got Shields saying, I can outbox you. On the other hand, Rolando Romero is standing firm with, I won't even entertain it. And honestly, somewhere in the middle of all that, fans are left wondering, what really happens if that chess match ever plays out?
Why him? Why did you call his name?
So, the only thing...
Rolly catches more strays on this show. It's
First of all, I
Shady's not
love
even on today.
He's a good dude, but when it comes to skill in boxing, he's not skilled. I'm not saying I'll get in the ring and I'll knock Rolly out. But what I will say is, with my boxing pedigree, with my height, my jab, my skills, I can beat Rolly in a boxing match.
And just when the Claressa Shields versus Rolando Romero debate is already heating up with two completely different mindsets, here comes Shakur Stevenson stepping in like, hold on, let me stir this properly. Suddenly, the conversation shifts from spicy to almost philosophical, with boxing gloves on.
Actually beat a male champion. Like seriously, like on some real shit. Like I know she tough, but you think she could beat any man champion?
My opinion is girls is girls, boys is boys.
Right.
A girl is gonna be a girl. I don't think a girl can beat a man. That's the same thing like you ask basketball players.
Yeah.
Like, can a female basketball player beat a male basketball?
Yeah.
Come on.
Shakur Stevenson is walking a fine line between respect and reality. You can hear it in how he speaks. He gives Claressa Shields her full credit, calling her the best female fighter on the planet. No hesitation, no debate. But then he pauses and adds that men and women are different, shifting the conversation toward physical dynamics. While Shields is arguing pure skill and boxing IQ, Shakur is pointing to the physical side of the sport, and that's where the two perspectives start to clash in real time. Then he takes it even further. He says if Shields were a man, she'd be like Floyd Mayweather Jr. That's not just a compliment. That's a massive statement, putting her skill level in the same conversation as one of the greatest defensive boxers ever.
Because Claressa be talking hot though.
Nah, she's like that
No,
though.
she like that, but she ain't.
If she was a boy, bro, that's what I was
What
trying
you
to
mean
tell
if
you.
she was a boy?
If she was a boy. If she was a boy, she'd be Floyd Mayweather. Hello.
I don't know.
If
That's
she was
already
a
no,
boy,
you can't do that.
she will be Floyd Mayweather. How can she
You
not,
can't,
bro?
no, but I'm saying you can't do that. If she was a boy, she might be playing soccer. We don't know what. You don't know what.
That's a great thing to say, but I'm just speaking like far as her.
I'm sitting there like, wait, you just elevated Claressa Shields to an all-time great in a hypothetical sense and still said she couldn't beat a male champion right now. That's praising and doubting in the same breath, and somehow, it still makes sense. Shakur Stevenson doubles down, highlighting her Olympic pedigree and total dominance, saying nobody touches her in women's boxing, and honestly, that part is just a fact. But the tension never goes away, because every time he builds her up, he pulls it back to reality. It's like watching someone give a standing ovation while still questioning the matchup. And that's what makes this debate so addictive. No one is really wrong. They're just looking at the same fighter through completely different lenses. One sees pure skill and boxing IQ, the other sees physical limits. And somehow, both arguments keep landing clean.
As a female athlete, bro.
Yeah.
She talk. She's f***ing flashy. And she's the best fighter f***ing in the world, bro.
Yeah,
There's nobody
she-
better than Claressa as a woman, bro. I don't give a f- who you name. Nobody is coming close to her.
Yeah, no,
Two
she
Olympic
said-
gold medals, bro. So if that's the case, if this girl was a man,
If she was a man.
bro, you know how much support to have with her.
And just when Shakur Stevenson is balancing respect with reality like a tightrope act, Shawn Porter steps in with that calm, composed delivery that somehow hits even harder because he's not trying to be loud about it. Porter looks at the whole situation and basically says, yeah, it's impressive, but let's not get carried away. You can feel the shift immediately. He gives Claressa Shields his full respect, no hesitation, calling her accomplishments remarkable. But then he starts breaking it down, and this is where it gets technical. When Porter talks about a strength and power gap, he's not speculating. He's speaking from real experience, from rounds in the trenches, from feeling what elite pressure actually feels like when it's coming at you with bad intentions. At the same time, he acknowledges her side too. Movement, traps, sticking and moving, all of that matters. But in his view, there's still another layer to the equation when it comes to physicality at the highest level.
Especially when you talk about fighting Keith Thurman or Showtime Shawn Porter.
Right.
There's a lot that goes into it. And it's one of those things that, you know, things are easier said than done.
So that brings me to my next question, because I asked her, I was like, look, I go, there's an obvious power and strength differential. Like she is dominant, you know, in the women's division, but the strength and the power between the top women and the top men is a big deal. She said she's not worried about the strength and power because she said it's about movement, it's about setting traps, it's about sticking and moving, all that stuff.
But then Shawn Porter quietly flips it, pointing out that the men Claressa Shields spars with aren't trying to take her head off, that it's a completely different environment. It's like sparring with the volume turned down, then stepping into a fight where everything is maxed out. And when he says, put her in with a man at her level and weight, now that's a different animal. It doesn't come off as disrespect. It feels like a second reality check. Then he shuts the door completely, saying he wouldn't even consider an exhibition, not out of fear, but because, in his view, there's nothing to prove on his side. And that right there is the quiet knockout. Now the conversation shifts. It's no longer just about skill, it's about purpose. Shields is chasing a statement, while Porter is drawing a boundary. And somewhere in the middle, we're left with the same question. Is this about proving greatness or proving a point that doesn't actually need proving?
There are animals, there are fighters that she could beat, but no one at her level in men's professional boxing. It's just a different animal.
Gotta ask, would you ever consider doing like a 3-round exhibition with the Claressa Shields, or is that something you would never even consider?
I honestly wouldn't consider that. I don't think that I don't have anything to prove. I think if she's got something to prove, she's got something else to prove against someone else. And let me reel it all the way back in. Again, and say it again, I have tons of respect for her and the things that she...
And just when Shawn Porter calmly shuts the door with that nothing to prove energy, Keith Thurman steps in like a seasoned veteran who's seen it all, and somehow manages to entertain the idea while dismissing it at the same time. Thurman isn't loud or emotional. He sounds almost amused, like he's watching everything unfold from a distance. He gives Claressa Shields her respect, but then leans on his experience and starts poking holes in the narrative. When he says, she's been saying this for years, and nobody cared until now, it feels like a subtle jab, questioning the timing more than the claim itself. Then he shifts gears into that if the people want it mode, bringing up the idea of exhibitions, charity events, jab-only rules, bigger gloves, and even headgear, basically turning what could be a fight into a controlled science experiment rather than a real contest.
All Claressa Shields did, however she feels about Thurman, however she feels about this men versus women battle of the sexes event that she wants to do for whatever reason, she picked one of the hottest boxing nights of the year to tweet this.
I'm sitting there like Keith Thurman just turned a call out into a sparring session with rules written in pencil. Then comes the real shift. He starts breaking down the differences, rounds, intensity, level of opposition. And you can hear the skepticism creeping in. He's not buying the idea that sparring equals fighting, and honestly, that's a debate boxing has had forever. The funniest part is when he talks about that sparring clip and casually says the guy ate the punch like breakfast cereal. That's Thurman's way of saying, respectfully, that didn't move me. At the same time, though, he doesn't completely shut the door. He leaves it slightly open, saying if the fans really want it and it serves a purpose, like charity, maybe. So now the dynamic gets even more layered. Claressa Shields chasing validation, Shawn Porter stepping away, and Thurman right in the middle, half in, half out, willing to entertain it, but strictly on his own terms.
Then she has the audacity to say, I spar men. And she puts this video of her sparring some kids that look like they just walked into my boxing club. They look like the softest amateurs I've ever seen. And she hits this boy with an overhand right. She's in the corner. She hits him with the overhand right. Boom! He eats that thing like some Lucky Charms.
When you step back and look at the whole situation, it's not just about Claressa Shields versus Rolando Romero anymore. It's turned into a full-on clash of philosophies within boxing. On one side, you've got Shields standing on skill, experience, and pure confidence, essentially saying boxing is boxing. If you've got the IQ, timing, and discipline, you can compete with anyone. On the other side, you've got voices like Shakur Stevenson, Shawn Porter, and Keith Thurman, all coming from different angles but landing on the same underlying point. There are levels to this game that go beyond technique. Shakur respects the greatness but questions the reality. Porter breaks it down from a physical standpoint. Thurman floats somewhere in between, half entertained, half unconvinced. And that's what makes this debate so addictive. Nobody is fully shutting it down, but nobody is fully buying in either. It's like a fight that exists only in conversation, yet somehow, it still has everyone picking sides.
Outside of that, man, I don't know if I'm not really supposed to, we're not supposed to call girls in this generation. I don't know what we're supposed to do, so I'm not going to say that she hits like a girl. Let's just say that she hits like her genetic predisposition.
Now I want to hear from you. Are you riding with Claressa Shields on the skill argument? Or do you think the physical gap makes this a no-go from the start? And out of all the fights, who made the strongest case in your opinion? Shakur Stevenson, Shawn Porter, or Keith Thurman? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's really debate this. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Boxing Update Daily. See you in the next one.